Hey guys, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Oops.
It works.
All right. Hey everybody, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Love Talk to the Garcons, where I am Irvin's
And
Garcon.
I am Ian Garcon,
And
and
we're Love Talk to the Garcon. Our slogan is
where everybody's sweet. We're love. Wait, rewind. All right, go.
Good evening, everybody. I am Irvin's Garcon,
Hey, my name is Ian Garcon, and we are Love Talks with the Garcon.
where love speak
And we listen.
and we listen. We're having a day. It's been a crazy and tough day, but
If this was an
nonetheless,
actual video, we'll be able to edit that out. But
Yeah.
this is live.
This is
so-
alive. This is the truth of what happens, how things goes behind the scene. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you're having a wonderful,
Hey, Samantha,
wonderful.
my cousin
Hey.
from Hades, joined.
So you guys having he had a wonderful day. We are gonna jump into this topic today. Why is Tete watching? I don't know.
Because that's my auntie. Listen, family's up in the building, okay?
So we have Haiti. We have I guess we have Rosedale.
Mhm.
What about you? Where are you watching from? Who's on the live tonight? Who's on the live? Tell us where you're watching from. And we also are asking you, as you guys are coming in the live, just make sure that you share it with at least
Five people.
Let them know to get on with this conversation that we are about to have tonight.
Yeah, we had a really nice conversation last week.
Yes.
What did we talk about?
We were talking about, is marriage still worth it? Is that something that people still look to do? Because marriage right now, man, the message that it's getting is not really, really good.
It's getting a bad rap.
It's getting a bad rap, but we still believe is that marriage still work. Marriage is still fun. Marriage is what you make it. Marriage takes work.
Man, marriage is built to last.
And marriage is built to last. It takes intentionality. It takes it takes you putting your all into it. So there's a requirement for that. And so
it's about exhausting all your options, especially, and we're going to do a live soon called
Hey Duan,
welcome. We're going to be doing a live soon talking about being miserable in marriage, because that's a thing. Okay.
Miserable,
People,
quote unquote, not
okay.
It's figuratively speaking.
And
that's scary.
But there are people who are actually in marriages who are miserable. And I believe, there's a great number of them that have not exhausted all their options. Sometimes we just get tired and we're just like, okay, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to deal with this fool anymore. Instead of giving grace, extending grace, and trying to see what we can do to make it work. So marriage works when both people make it work.
Yeah, man.
Can I get an amen in the chat?
Hey. All right. Nobody's telling us where you're watching from. I still want to know where you're watching from. So we're going to get into our topic.
We are from New York.
We're from New York, if you don't know.
We're streaming from New York, live from Queens, New York.
Yes.
Those of you who actually didn't know, because I don't think we ever tell people where we were.
That is true. That's true.
Yeah. So, let us know in the chat. Where are you watching from? Maybe you can see on Instagram if people are responding.
I'm watching it.
Okay.
So I'm definitely, we're both in New York, but I was born and raised in Haiti. I am a real Haitian, native natal. I was born in Oka, Cap-Haïtien, Haiti. Right? And this one is a Yankee.
Born in New York, Brooklyn, New York, baby.
Yeah, we have ATL in the building. What's up,
outside of the city of Atlanta.
Yes.
From around the block.
Oh, that's Natalie. What's up, Natalie? Our neighbor,
Queens, New York.
We're definitely gonna have to work on a connect on a play date or something, an adult play date or whatever.
Adult play date.
That sounds bad.
I don't mind adult play dates.
It sounds like Diddy.
No, it doesn't. It's just
it's
like
giving Diddy and
leaving the kids alone and adulting.
All right. So y'all, listen, we're about to jump into it. It's gonna get a little juicy on tonight. Gonna talk about Diddy and the freak offs.
Oh my God.
And all that good stuff.
I just want y'all to know I'm gonna cringe the whole night.
Oh, you're in Manhattan?
I know he's in Manhattan.
I know that. Okay.
Manhattan, NYC. Yeah, I'm gonna cringe the whole night because this whole case really gets me cringe. It gets me. I get uncomfortable. Yeah. So I'll prepare myself for that.
Yeah. So guys, make sure you share this with somebody. He needed an adult play date.
Yeah, adult play dates are in actually.
Hi Miranda, how are you?
Got Jersey in the building.
Yes. All right. We are going to get into this case. Tonight's live is what the Diddy case teaches about love and relationships, right?
Does it teach anything about love, though?
Is there a lesson? I believe that there's
That's the
lessons.
question. Does it teach anything about love?
Yeah, I think there are lessons that could be learned in everything in life. It's just a matter of if we are willing to learn from it and digging for the deeper truth in the things that happen in life, right? So I do believe that there are some things we can learn from them. Number one, I've never tried baby oil before. So that might be something that I might want to try.
Yeah. Ain't no Cassie around here, bro.
I mean, I heard of lubricant. I know a KY jelly.
Nah, we good here.
But in terms of baby oil, I've never heard of that. Actually, I should have probably invested in some Johnson & Johnson stocks when this thing came out, because I'm pretty sure that that's something you probably could make some money out.
This case shows me what
this
power...
is so crazy how this thing is actually is doing closed captioning, and it wrote KY jelly.
This case shows me what power dynamics look like. Everyone around Diddy allowed him to continue in his behavior, even supported him because it benefited them.
It's crazy.
And we'll see that a lot in like different types of relationships. But even when you were sharing that, we can learn something from everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There are certain things you just don't have to go through. Experience doesn't always have to be the best teacher, right? Learning from someone else's experience,
somebody else's mistake,
right? Someone else's mistake.
What's funny?
Be a great way to learn as well.
The thing that people always tell us, Ann and I, they be telling us like, it's not a lot of people. Oh, it's hard to receive from you guys because you guys don't go through the things that we go through. That's the point. There's certain things that we apply in our situation
to prevent ourselves,
to prevent us from going through some of the things. So I don't need to have been unfaithful for me to tell you not to be unfaithful, right? Well, okay, Duane, we're gonna have a conversation just about that. Period. Why in my mind I feel like it might cause some kind of chafing or something like that,
okay.
Like baby oil.
The cringing is already starting. All right, let's get into it.
All right, so listen. Tonight we are not here to accuse anybody. We are not here to
and we're not even condemn. Here to gossip. Like it's not. It's like right because I don't want us to think that we're gonna like go in and be like, oh my god, like really kind of go into the details of everything. We're really trying to just kind of learn from some of the things that have been presented.
Because there's opportunity. There is opportunity for us to reflect, to learn, and protect ourselves and those we love. Especially for those who are single, you're looking for love. We talk all the time about addressing your issues because some of the things that happen in this particular case, there's something weird. I'm not sound judgmental, but it's going to be hard not to sound judgmental throughout the night. But there's something weird about somebody, a man who just sits there and watch another man have sex with his girl and enjoying it and going off. And allegedly, when the person released on Cassie, reportedly, he wants the milk to be put on his nipples.
Okay. So
there's something wrong there. Yeah, something is definitely wrong that if you're into that kind of thing. People say, "Yo, Diddy's about to go to jail just for wanting to be freaky." That's some beyond freaky stuff, bro. Yeah. I won't understand for the life of me without exposing yourself. If you ever heard of somebody who actually enjoys somebody else doing their significant other, having sex with their significant other while they get off, please let me know. Please help me understand the appeal in that, because I really don't. I mean, I know swingers exist, people who swing. Sex and these alternative lifestyle is crazy to me.
So now when they say the marriage bed is undefiled, right? Like what does that mean as far as how like what are the limitations?
It's between the couple. There's nothing to do with bringing somebody else in your relationship.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Anderson asked, "What's the difference between that and watching porn?" Yeah, watching porn is different. I'm not watching my wife getting banged by another dude, right?
It's kind of like the same thing though, because you're
Nah.
still watching two other people in the act.
That's not my wife, though.
You know,
The way my jealousy is set up, bro, we'll be fighting. Like, wait, hold up. Why you moan like that?
Lord.
Why you like that?
Oh,
You're not supposed to like that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So that's a very good question, Anderson. But I feel like there's a difference for those who watch porn or corn. I'm sorry, algorithm. Please do not
Stop.
think
That's what you say. Stop.
Stop.
Because that's what we need to say. Those who watch corn, stop.
Those who watch corn, stop. But it is what it is, right? So this case was very interesting to me because, again, like I wonder, how did we get here?
Yeah.
How did we get here, right? And I did a little digging up about the chronicle of that particular relationship. Diddy met Cassie when she was 19 years old. This was back in 2006. And after her debut single called Me and You, guys, I cannot tell you one Cassie song. I don't know one Cassie song. I'm sorry.
I don't know either.
I
didn't know she was a singer. Actually.
Oh, wow. What, you thought she was an actress?
Just a beauty standard in Hollywood.
Wow. Okay. So she was only 19 years old when they got together, practically a child. And then a year later, during a trip that they took to Las Vegas, she was 21 at the time. That's when Diddy made his.
How old was he when she was 19?
That's a good question. I gotta find out.
But keep going. I'll find.
Yeah. But anyway, so that is when they had their first kiss. Diddy made a move on her that basically marked the start of their relationship. But from 2007 all the way to 2018, their relationship was practically on and off. Well, somebody wrote the name of the song, Charlene. So Charlene, hi Charlene. So you must be a Cassie fan because I don't know one Cassie song, right? Stephanie.
Wait. He was 38. She was 19.
Golly, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, he was 19 when she was born.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the age difference is definitely crazy, as Stephanie just said.
Nah, bro.
What's Royal Evening, Charlene?
That's probably her song.
Oh, those are Cassie songs that you're naming? Yeah, that doesn't help me much because I don't know not one Cassie song, unfortunately.
Keep going.
All right. So they maintained an on and off relationship for over a decade, often appearing together at public events. Now, that's crazy because as you're watching the case, you hear of things like she had to put on extra makeup just to go out to these red carpet events.
I mean, she's 19. She had to be older.
No. She had to wear extra makeup because she got beaten. There are times you see her on the red carpet. She got bruises that are being hidden by makeup. There's a message there in itself. When you are watching these relationships on social media, on television, all you see is a picture. And behind the pictures, behind the smile, there are bruises. Right. According to the case, there are times where she has to stay in hotels longer because she got bitten so bad that she cannot be seen leaving because it'd be so obvious, so evident that she's just been abused, physically abused. Right. I haven't heard of an account where a group of friends, when they're about to go out together, they all decided to wear shades. So she won't be the only weird one wearing shades out in a nightclub because she had gotten a black eye. So all of these things happening, we're just now finding about it because of the case against Diddy. So where were all these friends over the course of this 10-year relationship?
Check your friends.
10-year relationship that nobody pulled this girl out of it, on and off.
And
right?
she was silently suffering. Because of status.
What's up, Dia? How are you?
Because of status.
Yeah.
Hey, Dia. Because of fear.
And Ted, I think Ted is dead too. Crazy.
And I think even because of even age. Like she's 19 and bro is 38.
38. Old enough to be her father. right?
I didn't know the difference was that much,
It's
guys.
crazy.
I'm like now shocked.
So '07 and 2018, on and off relationship, over a decade, appearing at public events, smiling, doing the things that Hollywood couples are supposed to do. Same thing that you do in your life. You know the relationship is not happy, but yet you have to post the pictures.
You
Right.
gotta front like things are all good,
Yeah.
and then you got people out here watching you like,
Right.
I wish my relationship was like that.
Relationship goal.
Oh,
And what's crazy
gosh.
what's crazy, sometimes I have friends who tell me, hey, pray for such and such they're going through, right? And then I see such just posting a picture all posted up like happy. I'm like, I'm confused. I thought they were going through something. So we are hiding behind a facade.
And that's the thing. No
in a
one posts their
relationship.
bad days.
That's true.
No one posts when they're having an argument. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's why it's so important that we don't look at a picture or look at a reel or look at a page and conjure up an idea that this is what I want. Like, of course we can be inspired by, what we see, but to say this is what I want, we got to be careful with that.
And personally, I tell people this all the time. I tell people that, guys, you guys are goals like, No, you could be inspired by Irvington N, but don't be like Irvington N.
Why you can't be a goal?
Because I cannot stand this chick. This is all for the camera. It's all for the views.
I didn't expect you to say that.
It is all for the views.
Yeah, I can't stand you either, bro.
Subscribe, follow us. This is the only reason why we're doing this. I cannot stand her. I'd be wishing that marriage certificate had an expiration date.
That's the third time you said that.
Okay, go with that.
That's the third time you said that.
Never. I'm never going anywhere. I
don't know, y'all. We need therapy.
I need my license to be free. So eventually, Cassie started a new chapter in her life in 2019, where she met her trainer, her personal trainer, who became her husband now. But it was weird because I even heard that there was a time where Cassie was on the phone with Diddy while Alex was Alexing her. Shorty got a lot of issues. And so we all know the infamous videotape that pretty much infamous. I'm not from here. Infamous videotape that put everything out in the open. That surveillance video camera, that footage that came out in March 20. Well, the event happened in March 2016.
When he was dragging her.
He was dragging her, pummeling her, just beating that was
like, okay,
was crazy.
You in trouble now, bro.
Oh man, and it's because she had decided I don't want to do a freak off. Apparently, allegedly, that's the reason why.
That was probably the third one that day.
Yo, they go on and on and on and on and like yeah, take that. That's a famous Diddy catchphrase. Everything seems different now. Like everything has a different meaning now. Maybe that's why the take that. That's probably why.
Go back to his songs. He's probably telling on himself the whole time, and now we're realizing it.
Crazy, bro. So she got married to a personal trainer, and then in 2023 was the first legal action where Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of rape, abuse, and control throughout their relationship. And I already see on Facebook, some of you guys are already commenting about the control aspect of that relationship, right? And then obviously in May 2024, that's when the case, the video actually was released. And he tried to issue a little apology. That dude settled that case, that lawsuit within 24 hours.
That was quick.
Within 24 hours, my dude paid Cassie about $20 million. I don't know if there was some kind of NDA.
Can he now sue her because he can't because she now told after she got the money?
No, because what happened is even if they sign like an NDA, non-disclosure agreement after the money, if she's being subpoenaed to testify, I think that supersede. If you're a lawyer, let me know. I think that might supersede whatever NDA that they may have had. So she had to take the stand or face the consequences of not testifying, right? So now May 13th, that's when the case started. That's when Cassie started to testify against Diddy and all that good stuff. So that's a recap of everything that's been happening with this case so far. I think there's still a few more weeks left of testimonies and thing that is happening, right? So now let's get into the reason why we are here tonight. The lessons that we can learn from this particular case, right? I already saw on the comments some people were already talking about this concept and notion of control. We can also talk about manipulation. We can talk about trauma because at the end of the day, what is it that led to this young woman allowing herself to be in these situations?
Mm.
Because even throughout the case too, she's not fully innocent because on cross-examination, she's over here talking about I can't wait for the next freak offs. I love it.
Okay, this is what I want to say, right?
Okay, go ahead, boo.
Now, have you guys ever heard of someone being abused, right?
Mhm.
Someone being essayed, and but it's continuously happening that it becomes enjoyable.
Mm.
They're afraid to admit it,
Mhm.
like they know it's wrong, but because it happens so often, they kind of get used to it and they begin to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that she couldn't wait for it.
Yeah.
It had become the norm. Like it's like part of our relationship. And I think she also even said a lot of times she would agree to it because that's the only time she would see him.
Time with him, right?
And she wanted to spend time with him. So homegirl's already delusional. She's young. She doesn't have anyone speaking life into her. She has this rich man. So he's super popular. He's probably the most popular in the game at the moment. And he wants her like you want me. Yeah. So her self-esteem has to be like here, right? To the ground to have this celebrity that's so in love with her. She probably was like, oh my gosh, I got to do everything that he says so that he could continue to love me.
Yeah, but still, there is something going on there to make you feel like that's not the thing. Even when in my line of work, I always talk to families and adults and teachers about normal responses to things. Duan mentioned Stockholm syndrome, and also Adia did the same thing on IG.
What's Stockholm syndrome?
Stockholm syndrome is pretty much where it's a psychological condition where the person starts to fall in love with their captor. So let's say, for example, you're my hostage. For some reason, you start to manipulate you enough where you fall in love with me. There's a story, I cannot remember the name of this. It's in 1970s, 1960s. A young woman who was kidnapped. And next thing you know, on surveillance camera, they find her robbing banks along with her captor. She was involved with bank robbery along with her captor. And that's the first time where this idea of Stockholm syndrome really came about, because what led her to join them in their crime sprees. I feel like also that's how cults start too. There's some kind of people become enamored with their captors, where they start even to sympathize with them, and that's how some of these things happen, right? So what we are seeing in this particular relationship, quote unquote relationship, there's some abuse happening, emotional, psychological, and obviously financial, because Diddy really had a big control over her recording artist thing, like Diddy does to every single artist, right? So he's been accused over and over about how he's a shady and dirty, grimy type of business mogul. Right, where he took advantage of his artists. So we know he's known for that in the business realm, but who knew that was the case as it relates to sexual and those type of things, right? We're seeing in this particular relationship an imbalance of power that's also at play, right? Again, controlling every
when you
single
say
thing.
Imbalance of power, there was no power. There was no power on her, right? You know what I mean? So like he had all the power. So there's not really like an imbalance or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And it begs the question, when someone has the power, the status, charisma, and all of this stuff in a relationship, forget Diddy for a second. Let's bring it down to a couple of $1 million less. Just someone, period, that have this level of influence, status, charisma, charms, and they use it. You have to be very careful. Are they using those superpowers in love or to control? Because believe it or not, some people do it not because it's love. They just want to have a hold on you. So they use all of these secret powers that they have to control and manipulate you in your relationship.
Well, we already know what love is, and that
Some people
clearly
don't.
was not love. Read Second Corinthians, was it 7?
13?
13? Sorry.
Oh my God, you said 7?
It's
Jesus' cousin?
verse 7. Yeah, like, so we know there was no love involved. It clearly was a fetish. It was fantasy. It was power and control. That's all it was. And she was a pretty face. So to have her on his arm,
Eye candy.
And like, I like that you're trying to, like, not you're trying that, but we're trying to dumb it down to regular relationships, right? And like what to look out for. If you have no say in your relationship, red flag.
Yeah. Yeah.
If your partner has all the control, red flag. And I don't think it was necessarily her ignoring the red flags. I know that she noticed it, but he put her in a position where she would have to ignore them.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone even said that he would get her, keep her on drugs so that she become dependent on drugs, so that she wouldn't even be in the right mental state. Like, abuse to the 10th power. If your person is constantly telling you what to do, and you don't want to do it, but you feel like you have to do it, somebody say red flag.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money he has. I don't care how much status he has or she has. I don't care how good he or she looks. You run.
Yeah. Yeah. Because next thing you know, you're going to find yourself some baby oil in your body. Nat said, Diddy is rich and powerful. SA victims often feel trapped and terrified to leave. Absolutely. That's the whole power, control, and manipulation thing that we're talking about. But also, in addition to the lack of ability or willingness to leave, that's stemming from somewhere. That is definitely stemming from somewhere where you find yourself accepting this to be your status quo, or that to accept this to be as your norm. Right. I know we are living in a state in a country where what is normal is all relative, but there's absolute truth to what is normal as well. Right. So it's very important. It's imperative that you are evaluating and factoring some of these things. You're studying some of these things to be like, yo, this is not normal. And once you realize that, you got to be able to find a way, find help to leave. And I know sometimes, as Nat was saying, it's probably easier said than done based on what kind of work that has been done on that person, how much they've been groomed, as Adia mentioned on IG, how much of a victim of Stockholm syndrome the person has become, whether consciously or not consciously or unconsciously, and you find yourself trapped. But at the end of the day, friends, family members, that's where you guys come in. That's where you have to. I know you're trying to find the balance between how much you let your family members meddle into your relationships, but you have to be the voice of reason. The how is very important, because sometimes you might try to intervene so much that you push the person further away. So it's also very important that how you're engaging is also super important. How you try to help the particular person. Right. And I think with the Diddy and Cassie case, this is something that happened in relationship too, where there's a cycle, right? There's a cycle of love bombing that happened. So first of all, you have the love, then you have tension, then you have mistreatment, and then you have apologies, and then you repeat the cycle again. You go from love bombing, tension, mistreatment, apologies, repeat. At what point do we cut the cycle?
Now I'm thinking, like, do we feel sorry for her? Do we blame her, or do we feel sorry for her? Right?
That's a really good question.
Because it's so easy to be on this side and be like, she should have got out. She should have known better, right? She should have did this. She should have did that. But then, do we truly understand, like, her mental state?
Yeah.
After being in that relationship for so long.
Yeah.
She probably was at war with herself. Like, I don't want this, but I want him. And in order to get him, I have to do this.
What do you guys think, though? Do you feel, you could comment now, do you feel sorry for her?
Or do you blame her?
Do you blame her? Where do you stand on the Cassie thing? I wish I could do a poll where you could just enter a poll. So you could say blame or sorry, if you don't want to go into details about how you feel about her in this situation, or if it's in between, right in between, right? So write in the chat, blame, sorry, or in between. And if you'd like to expound on it, we would love for you to expound on it.
Yeah, because honestly, I'm sure we all know a Cassie.
Yeah,
We all know a
maybe to not that
Cassie.
degree.
Yeah, that's in a relationship that we believe that she or he, Cassie or Casso, whatever you want to call her,
Oh my God.
that they should not be in the relationship that they're in, right? But do we feel sorry for them or do we blame them?
Yeah. Is there any empathy you can have? I feel Adia says she feels sorry for her. Okay.
Ooh.
Do you blame her for anything at all, Adia? You could write it in the chat, and we'll read it. So we have one person that said they feel sorry for her. How about you guys on Facebook, YouTube? How do you feel? Is she to blame, or do you feel sorry for her? Let us know, and we'll read your comment.
What's yours? What do you feel?
I feel sorry for her in the context of what she had to endure. Nobody deserved to be physically bitten like that. I have an accent, guys.
Bitten or beaten?
Beaten, yeah.
Oh.
And so from that standpoint, I definitely feel sorry about what she endured. But I don't want to sound like I'm victim blaming, because already came across in the comments that people feel like Stockholm said all these other things. There are so many different reasons as to why she might have stayed, including but not limited to career security, right? Because worst case scenario, she could have walked away and her career was a career. But
what is her career?
She was supposed to be a singer. She had a 10 album deal. I don't even know how much music she ended up putting out.
Diddy?
With Diddy with Bad Boy. With Bad Boy.
Okay.
So she was supposed to, and then even with some of the freak offs, according to allegedly, he will record her and then threaten to put things out. So there's that part
to tarnish
too.
Her image.
To tarnish her image and her family image and all that stuff.
So I feel sorry for her, yeah. but I blame her friends. I blame her friends. I blame her mom. Someone said, well, still, you still should have talked to her or told on him. Like he's mistreating your friend. Mm-hmm. He's mistreating your daughter. He's mistreating your cousin or your sister or whatever. You should have said, somebody should have stepped up. Like sometimes we can be so in love, we can be so blinded, right? That we don't see the things that everybody else sees. But hopefully there's somebody in your circle that will pinpoint, you know what I'm saying, the things that you can't see. Yeah. And they all let her down. Yeah. Everybody let her down. Yeah. So I blame them.
Let's look at some of the comments. On Instagram, we have Natalie said, I feel sorry for what she endured. YouTube, I feel sorry for what she endured, but I wish she made more of an effort to leave.
Right.
Charlene said, the thing is with me, it's choices. Duan, I feel sorry for her. It took advantage of her youthfulness and experience and lack of understanding of what love truly is or looks or feels like. We don't know what trauma she may have undergone.
Right.
Christina, sorry and totally empathy.
Yeah.
Many times SA victims are fearful for their lives. They face guilt, shame, and they go through the motions that the abuser will change.
I'm sure when she was on the stand, having to even relive that and share it, embarrassment, shame, and guilt that filled her. I'm so sure.
Yeah, people's lives were also at stake. That's true.
Because he has a lot of power.
Reportedly, she was actually dating Kid Cudi, and Kid Cudi's car accidentally blew up during that time.
Accidentally.
His car got blown up.
What are they saying in IG?
IG, Adia, thank you, Adia, for keeping that chat going in IG. She feels sorry for her. She thinks a lot of brainwashing and things happen amongst his victim based on the tools he used to control them. I think she definitely tried to get out, but her love for him kept her trapped and going back. I believe everyone. I blame everyone that stayed quiet. Did nothing to stop
everybody that stayed quiet. Like if you got.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't need no quiet people in our circles. Like if you are going through something you need people that's going to stand up for you.
Yeah, and sometimes it might end a friendship, but at least you did your part. I'd rather say something to my friends about something and then mess it up because they're upset about my opinion about their relationship, then for me to stay quiet and then something worse happens, and then I'm to blame. At least my conscience is clear, right? I have a quote here. So listen to this. Staying doesn't mean someone is weak. It means they're trapped emotionally, psychologically, and maybe even financially. So all that stuff could be applicable to Cassie. I believe Diddy was giving her an allowance too, if I'm not mistaken, because her livelihood depended on him, right? And so all of that's part of it too. Now the thing about the Diddy case, I feel like he might get off, but we'll save that for a conversation later, because how he's charged is very dangerous, that he might actually get off on what he's actually charged with and what he actually did and what is being accused of, right?
But let's talk about that quote though. Staying doesn't mean someone is weak.
One more thing. Diddy had outsiders fearful. Remember, anyone who dared to cross him or snitch on him, it made them disappear. There's still allegations and an accusation that he had something to do with Big's death, and that's his man.
And Prince.
Mm-hmm. Prince. Mm-hmm. I've never heard of that. Don't you mean Tupac?
I said Prince.
Okay, I don't know much about that. Okay.
But staying doesn't, go back to that quote, babe. Staying doesn't mean someone is weak. It means they're trapped. Whew. That'll preach. It means they're trapped. They could be trapped in their mind, right? They can be trapped physically. They can be trapped emotionally. Mm-hmm. They can be trapped financially.
Yeah.
So now this is where it's like, okay, in a relationship, should you depend fully on your person? Like
you do.
Don't say that. I could live without you, bro.
Who's our mortgage company again?
Freedom Mortgage.
Oh wow. Who's our HELOC company?
FinFed.
Ooh.
Don't do this. Don't try to play me up.
Who's our cell phone company?
T-Mobile. Don't play with me.
What's the password to our Love Talks? What's the password to our Love Talks page? Don't say that out loud.
Listen, y'all. Should you completely?
Oh, guys, by the way, share this live. People need to be on this live. If you haven't done so yet, you need to share this live. People need to hear this stuff.
Like even in a marriage, right? Should I completely depend on you? No, my source is Jesus. Okay. And I'm preaching here. My source is the Lord. Of course, like we're one. We're depending on each other, but to have all your eggs in his basket.
Yeah. Wait, pause. Hey, yo. Put my eggs in your basket.
She completely depended on him where she could do nothing for herself.
Not a thing. And
so, of course, she's trapped because you ain't got no money. You ain't got no mind. You ain't got no choice. You ain't got nothing.
Talk about it.
Red flag. Red flag. These are some of the things we're trying to extract from this case, right? Not to sit here and pinpoint, this is what Diddy did. This is what Cassie did. But now what can we do based on this information that has been shared?
Yeah.
How can we learn from this case? And how can we protect those we love? Because they may not see it because they're so in love that they're blinded.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to say something.
Red flag. The red flags. And the thing is, you have to ask your question. Have you ever been in a relationship where love and fear coexisted? To me, that's an oxymoron. How could you be in a relationship with somebody that you love them and fear them at the same time? Even God himself, the Father, I love the Lord, but God doesn't want me to fear him in that context. God wants me to be
afraid of him. He
God
wants
me to respect him and revere him for his holiness, for who he is, for what he is in our lives. But again, we don't serve God because we don't want to go to hell. Right? So you're in a relationship, you don't want to leave. Everything is happening because out of love, but fear and love should not be in the same context or coexist in a particular relationship. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why am I going to be afraid of my partner for?
And if you're afraid of your partner, guys, that's a red flag.
That's a red flag. That's definitely
a huge red flag. If you feel like if you speak, you're going to get a flunky sabo.
A flunky sabo. How would you translate that?
You're going to get a flanky sabo. That's something you need to look out for.
I can't say this. I don't want to say that. I'm gonna hurt
Nah,
his
bro,
feelings.
that's not happening here because there are even some, and like, yeah, saved or not,
Yeah,
there are relationships where both partners are saved,
yeah.
and he's beating on her, or
Those,
she's beating on
yeah,
him.
those 50-year marriages that you hear about in church.
So don't let it fool you.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. It's not just the unsaved people. It's the saved folk too.
Yeah.
That need to be saved from these relationships.
And these red flags are there. They are there. And we're comparing red flags and not looking at it from the standpoint of real love. For example, you are in a relationship, the person constantly wants to isolate you from your family and friends. They constantly want to isolate you from them. And they do.
Why? Because they know that those friends and those family members are a voice in your ear. Yeah. And they may turn you, well, unfortunately, she didn't have any, but they may turn you away from them. So they'll isolate you, pull you far away. You have no more friends. Now all your friends are their friends.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what's funny though? For those who are single watching this.
Period, Shirley. Don't you dare put hands on me.
But I feel like what we tend to do is people tend to have a never me mentality. This will never happen to me.
That's good.
Until it does.
Until it does.
Right? Because you find yourself thinking you're invincible. That's it, right? Invincible. Like nothing can happen to you, so you don't have your guard up. But you find out one person who's really, really, really good at love bombing. What are the terms that we talked about the other day?
Breadcrumbing. Love bombing,
gaslighting. They're so good at it. We know people like that, guys. We know people where we're like, dang, he let that happen to her? She found herself in that situation?
There's a close friend of mine that I would say,
why you?
How? You are who we used to talk about.
Yeah.
We used to talk about people like this.
Yeah.
And now you're that.
And now that person, that individual had the never me mentality
until it was them.
And a good part of it had to do with the fact that when you try to tell that individual, don't do it, I guess the way it was done to be rebellious, they did it. And now they're on eggshell.
Yep.
They're the one who have no voice.
God will humble you real quick.
Bro,
yesterday.
They have their own Diddy without the money. Right? So it is super, super imperative that you don't have this mindset that never me. Because it could be if you don't have your guard up. Right? And I say that because of what Charlene said. I ain't gonna lie, put your hands on me, it's on. Period. But you have no idea how many people actually had that non-negotiable.
Try with me. I'll let you know.
Because there are a lot of people who had a lot of non-negotiable who negotiated.
Ooh.
That was good, right?
That was good.
If you have your non-negotiables, do not negotiate.
Period. They're non-negotiable for a reason.
Right. And especially that individual who's going to take advantage of the negotiation because they're that good. They're that good.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you find yourself in the records office changing your name to Cassie. You might as well. Right? And so it is super, super, super imperative that you are looking at these red flags. People trying to isolate you from your friends. They love bumming you. Their behavior is inconsistent. They're blaming you for their actions. Anderson mentioned earlier about people don't want to take accountability. So if you're in a relationship and the person always don't take accountability for their action and their contribution to the situation, that's a red flag. That's what consistently keep adding to the cycle of love to tension, mistreatment, apologies, but the apology is not even genuine, just so the cycle can start all over again. Ladies and gentlemen. Right? If you compare that to some green flag in a relationship, this is where you have a partner who's taking accountability for their action.
What does accountability look like in a relationship?
I messed up. I did this thing wrong. Is owning the thing that you do that contributed to a particular What's what I'm looking for? To a contentious situation in your relationship, you play your part. You play your part. You
So
realize your part.
apologizing.
Apologizing, but not just apologizing with words, but also with action. Right? She said, Duan said, I'm too vain to stay with the men who would physically harm me because I don't do bruises well. I get your point. We should not be doing bruising at all. But I get the point that you're making, Duan. That's hilarious. So it's very important. The green flag is that individual is going to take accountability for their action in the relationship. Who's going to be consistent, it's going to be respectful, and it's going to create a safe space. If you don't feel safe in your relationship, that's like
you need to cut it.
That's the ultimate red flag.
Not necessarily cut it, but like you gotta say something.
Yeah.
Too many people are suffering in silence. They're not saying anything until it's too late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you know someone that could possibly be a third party that could come in and, mediate or, therapize. You guys, like, say something. Like find anyone that you can speak to about it, but don't suffer in silence.
Yeah.
Like
and I
know it's easier said than done, right? Because if you're in the thick of it, like you're the one that really know like maybe the consequences of even saying something. Like if there's a consequence involved, you really gotta say something. If you're afraid that if you say something, he's gonna like punch you in your face or seriously, like bruise you up, you have to say something. I don't care how much love you have for the person.
Right.
No one deserves that. You are better than that. And I don't know why he's saying he's going to punch you, because there's some women who out here smacking these men too.
Y'all be wilding as well. And the thing about it, and this live tonight, it's not just about talking about the abuse in the case, but it's also as important for us to recognize what true love is. Let's recognize real love. Real love ain't none of the things that we heard that Diddy was doing to Cassie. The manipulation, the physical abuse, the control, the power. That's not real love, ladies and gentlemen.
Was Diddy patient?
No, obviously he was smacking her around.
Was he kind?
Smacking her around.
Did he envy?
He envied another man and his girl.
Did he boast?
He's one of the most cocky individual in the world.
Was he prideful?
Absolutely. He's borderline narcissistic.
Did he honor people?
No, he kept taking those people's royalties.
Was he
publishings?
Was he easily angered?
Yeah. And wait. You even heard people talk about they don't know which Diddy they were gonna get. I watched a Day 26 interview, and Q.
Oh God, traumatized.
Q was traumatized till now. I think Q was probably, now that the case is coming out,
he probably was.
Q was probably part of the part of. You said the word.
No, it's a freak offs. Oh, I probably said it wrong.
He's probably got involved with the freak offs. Q. And his girl at the time, Dawn from Danity Kane, she had to testify. So there's some, and she went through her own thing in that particular.
Let's
situation.
continue. Was he self-seeking?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did he delight in evil?
Absolutely.
Did he rejoice in the truth?
What truth? His truth? Not the truth.
Did he always protect?
Absolutely not.
Was he always trustworthy?
No, heck no.
No.
You better read them. You have to read those contracts over and over again.
Listen.
Diddy is the opposite of love. And guess what? His most recent name change was love.
Nah, really?
Yes. He's changed his name so many times, from Puff Daddy to P. Diddy to Diddy to Diddy Doodoo to whatever. His most recent name change and was love.
Wow. And he is the opposite of love. The love verse, right, that we find in 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4-7. Listen, he's the opposite of that. But he showed none of those.
But the man has daughters. He has daughters.
I mean,
we're Christians. We don't believe in that Buddhism stuff. But is karma part of Buddhism? I don't know. But karma is crazy like that, bro. You got daughters, fam. You have more girls than boys. Well, I think he has 4 girls and 2 boys, one adopted. And there's this question whether or not one of his sons is actually his because he doesn't look. It looked like one of his bodyguards.
One of his oldest sons belongs to Albie
No,
Shore.
the oldest son, Quincy, that's Albie Shore's son, but not Christian. Christian looked just like him. The other one, there's another boy, the light-skinned boy, is in between. He looked just like a bodyguard that was working with him. There's allegation that Kim Porter's death wasn't normal.
Yep.
He probably had something to do with Kim Porter's death, which is the mother of his children. That
he swore he loved God. Yeah. Which God? Anybody could love God.
Yeah.
Right? There's so many gods. Like, are we talking about Jesus here? Can't be.
Yeah, obviously we see there's like some strong emotion behind this case because why are people that way? Why are people could be so evil? Justin, yes. Justin does not look like Diddy. Justin looks like a former bodyguard / business partner Diddy had. There's nothing about Justin that looks like Diddy, right? Because guess what? You see how light Justin is? Look at the girls, the twins. The twins look like Diddy. So Kim's genes ain't that strong. Kim Porter's gene was not that strong to produce no, Justin is not Kim's son. I'm sorry, I take it back. But I don't think that was his. Wait, was it? The one, let me know if Justin is Kim Porter's son. I can't recall if she was or not. I know Quincy is Kim's son.
I don't know all the kids.
Yeah,
but I think even monsters have children.
Monsters
like I don't think they even think of what the repercussions are going to be for their kids.
Yeah,
I think he expected this to be a secret forever.
Yeah,
and that they would never find out. But joke's on you, Diddy.
Pat said Jokes was his pastor.
Jakes was his pastor.
Jakes was his pastor.
Oh, wow. Really?
Have you ever been swallowed?
No. Stop. Let's continue. So now this is the question, right? There's a question that we want to talk about. Because I know, like, let's say Diddy comes out, right? And he says, hey, I'm sorry. Do we now just forget everything that has happened? Do we forgive? Do we hold a grudge? Do we see his heart? Do we see that he's a changed person? Like, what is the response when someone says sorry? Or what if he never says sorry?
Or let's make it more general. What about your situation with your Diddy, with your Cassie? Because what tends to happen is, I think we have the wrong idea of what it means to forgive, and that's what tends to trap us into these cycles. The cycle, let's add another piece of the cycle that we were talking about earlier, right? We have love bombing, we have tension, we have mistreatment, we have the apologies, then we have forgiveness. If we want to throw in forgiveness, we could put forgiveness right there, and then we have the repeat. Once again, love bombing, tension, mistreatment, apologies, throw in forgiveness, and then you repeat, right? So the problem that we are having in this particular situation, while we let these cycles keep going on, is because we feel like once you forgive, that also means you must reconcile. You don't have to reconcile just because you forgive somebody, right? And that's the problem we think we need to do. You need to protect your peace. Right. So healing doesn't mean just forgetting, because it's going to be there. But healing has to do with you reclaiming your peace. And if you keep reconciling, going back to the person over and over again, just because you forgive them, you are contributing to your own cycle. And I think that's the part where my empathy and sympathy gets decreased to the point where it's non-resistant, because you keep going back, right? And so forgiving does not mean you have to reconcile. You have to protect your space. You have to protect your state of mind, especially when you forgave the person, but there's no true repentance, because a repentance is a life change. You can't just say sorry and you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and I keep forgiving you.
Because you weren't sorry.
Precisely. Right. He actually did apologize after the tape was exposed. Yeah. No, doing I don't even think it was a real apology. I think it was more of a PR move. It was
That's
a
what she
PR
said.
move.
So it's a case of being sorry you've been
Yeah.
exposed.
Yeah, it was a PR move, and that's why he settled the lawsuit so quickly. And that's the thing. Someone like Diddy who has so much power, I think he thought he was invincible. Just throw money at it. Just throw money
I mean,
at
it
it.
worked for so
He
long.
worked for so long. But even why am I so animated with my hands tonight? But even in the case where you don't have Diddy money, there's some people who are so good they know how to throw love, how to throw charisma, how to throw charm at the situation to keep it going. So don't just think it's Diddy and money. You got to think about it. Your that Diddy that's in your life, or that person who you know have a Diddy in their lives. What is the figurative money that they keep throwing at the situation to keep it going?
Mm-hmm.
I'm animated tonight, don't I? That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, guys, but yeah, Pat said a really that's a gem right there. Then there needs to be fruits of repentance, and that's and I'm that includes change. That includes change, and it begs the question: those people who are in a relationship, like they're hoping he will change, she will change. Stop fooling yourself. Stop fooling yourself because you have enough evidence that there is no fruits of repentance from that person.
Come on, you got the evidence. You've
Keep
got the
happening
evidence.
over and over again.
And evidence doesn't lie.
It's crazy. It's crazy, right? And so, sadly, Diddy might get off. And I'll talk about that just a little bit before we wrap up. He might get off because right now, as the testimonies are going on, Cassie is being painted as a willing participant in these things. Number one. Number two, we are talking about a consensual relationship. But he's being charged with like some racketeering thing at worst, and his lawyers, that's the argument that his lawyers are making. Was Diddy I don't want to curse, a bad boyfriend, an abusive boyfriend? Yes. But is he running a criminal empire, trafficking people and process all that stuff? That's so hard to prove on that particular level. So, because right now they're already asking, his lawyers are already asking for a mistrial, right? Because when the case first came out, when he first got arrested and indicted, the detail of the case, we all thought that Diddy was just running a sex party, like a sex ring, bringing people against their will to participate in these parties and trafficking people. Because when you think of sex trafficking, you're thinking of people who are being driven across state line against their will and things of that nature. And when we talk about a RICO case have to do with pretty much a criminal empire where different people are playing different parts. So they want to say the person who went to get the baby oil, that's racketeering, that's a RICO case. The person who booked the room, people who held Cassie against her will, these are all RICO. But that's a hard case to prove. So don't be surprised if it gets off. It's ready. I think they might have offered him a plea deal that it declined already. So it's possible all this could be for nothing.
But even if he gets off, Diddy's
the lawyer did deny the mistrial. I know about that.
Even if he does, though, his reputation is tarnished. Like, you think he can get back up? You think?
Oh no, his career is over.
Yeah, it's over. Like
investors,
no one will ever look at him the same again.
Investors care about their money. So if in the court of look at Jonathan Majors, the black guy who was dating that white girl who got a charge for assault. He lost his career.
Yeah,
and his thing was not even to that level because Disney and all these companies are ready to drop it because at the end of the day, they need to protect their bottom line. Diddy's career is over, but he has his money. He has his livelihood.
Yeah.
So he good. Right? I remember I told you he's a crook. He keep people's publishing and keep people's royalties and stuff. Mm-hmm. He made a move before this whole case started where he started to call out his former artists to give them back their publishing. I think that was a strategic move. So they don't, I guess they don't testify against him. Yeah. Yeah. His life is definitely ruined. But my thing is, I wonder even if it gets off, how his family gonna be looking at him.
I don't know if
His
it was AI,
daughters.
but his daughters were. There was one of his daughters was saying she's done with him. He's no
Yeah.
longer her father. I don't know if it was someone like AI doing
If
it,
it's
but
a
like
true,
or
yeah,
it's truly her.
yeah,
But I like, could you ever look at your dad the same again?
yeah.
Like, could you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough.
But what's funny though, but again, behind every, social media is a space where it's not necessarily true or real. I think his daughters, the twins, are still creating content. They're still living their lives.
I mean, they deserve that. They
Yeah.
deserve to.
Their lives are ruined because they're known. They're known.
Yeah.
Can they even go to public spaces?
So sad.
Maybe the boys can, but I cannot imagine the girls who are younger, because his sons are artists. They have their own businesses and stuff like that.
But I feel like this world is a little bit more understanding now. We've gotten to a place where I'm not going to be blamed for your mishaps, So I feel like there's a more of an understanding. Like, even if they do see them out, like, they deserve to live a full life. They're young, they're not responsible for their father's actions. And hopefully, people don't treat them differently. But of course, you're going to have the few that will judge, that will probably try to connect them to it. But they had nothing to do with it,
And we are nowhere near celebrities, but I can, like, even our kids sometimes they be like, "Daddy, this person come up to say, hey, I know your parents."
Yeah, but not try to act stupid in those streets.
Not you are such a parent. That's where you went.
But
my mind is on, that's not safe. They just approaching our kids to be like, I know your parents.
Oh.
But you went to you better not be acting out.
I mean,
bro, you are such a mom, bro.
But listen, I wanted to like really share a verse like before we kind of close out.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah. 1 Peter 5 verse 8 says, be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour.
Right.
I wanted to really hone in on the be sober-minded. Sometimes we can be so in love, we can be so enamored, we can be so fascinated by the words that a person is telling us, by the gifts that they're buying us, by the way they even make us feel, that we become drunk in love.
Drunk in love.
I don't even, right?
Jay-Z's accused too.
Right? We become so drunk that we don't see these things. But the Bible tells us to be sober-minded, because if somebody has your mind, they have all of you.
Talk about
if they have your mind, like you're done for. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where the devil tries to come and tries to tackle, because he knows if he has your mind, he has you. So the Bible tells us to be sober-minded, not just in, the things that we do, like, but in relationships.
Yeah.
Because people are manipulative. People are very, they're very selfish, right? People,
self-centered.
They're by nature.
Right.
By nature, that's what people do. And so, like, you want to be very careful who you allow into your space. Because if they're playing with your mind, they've got you. So before we wrap this up, I wanted us to really focus on renewing our mind on a daily basis so that we stay sober, that we stay vigilant, that we stay watchful.
Yeah. And also, that was a spiritual take. Thank you, babe, for that. In addition to that, a practical thing is very important for you to understand. Do not equate love with control. If somebody's trying to control you, there's really no love there. There should still be a sense of you in the relationship. Healing is possible. And also, an important part, just know that we were talking about this earlier in the live about negotiable. Your worth is not negotiable.
It's not.
Your worth is not negotiable. I'll say it one more time. Your worth is not negotiable, right? Other things that we can talk about, and not tonight, that spark other topics in this Cassie thing. How do you define a healthy relationship? because she probably was defining what she had as something that was healthy.
Oh, she couldn't. She
It's
couldn't.
possible. She probably got gaslit so much and manipulated and groomed so much that she thought it was healthy. That's just their norm, right?
Then that's delusional.
I know. That's
Yeah,
what happened
that
with
just-
delusion. The delusion is borderline psychotic.
Yeah.
There's some psychosis that is connected to that, right? Is love possible without safety? If you're not safe in a relationship, could you really call it love? That's another way we could go and to continue this dialogue. Lastly, can someone really change after they are being abusive to you? Marinate on that. All right. On that note, thank you guys once again for tuning in tonight to Love Talks with the Garcons. Our Tuesday nights, I really enjoy it. If we get a little behind the scene of what happened on Tuesday night, we were really tired. But once we are on here, you guys give us energy. Your participation help us to do this. Continue to support us, guys. Like, subscribe to all of our platforms. Share it with people. Our intention isn't just about numbers and views, but we really want to impart in people's lives. Impact people's lives. So do us a favor, help us to grow this community. Share this with some people, comment, and like us on all social media platforms. All of our handles on all platforms is the same thing. Just look up Love Talks with the Garcons. YouTube, you're already there. If you're there already, just subscribe and hit the notification bell. Love Talks with the Garcons with no space. Same thing with Instagram, Facebook. You could put a space with Facebook. Or you're also on TikTok. So follow us there too. All right. Thank you, guys. Until next time, I am Irvin's Garcon.
And I am Ann Garcon.
We are Love Talks to the Garcon.
Where love speaks
and we listen.
listen.
Have a good night.
Bye, y'all.
Bonne nuit.